What's up, chat? Welcome back to the stream. It is Monday. We are indulging in some mayhem today. I am very tired still. So I have not pre-prepared any talking points today. However, we do have some stuff we can discuss because this is a huge weekend for competitive Warhammer 40k. We had lots and lots of events go down, including things like the Beachhead Brawl, which was one of the larger events in the UK. 216 player. I think that's officially a super major, right? I don't know. I guess you could argue that maybe super majors are 7+ rounds. This one was only 6 games, but I'd say over 200 players. That's super major level territory. Major, it's like usually 6 rounds, 100+, right? Super major 200+, I would say. Pretty big thing. So we can do that. We also have the new stuff that we can hop into. I saw that there was a data sheet or something, but I'm gonna level you, chat. My day has mostly been consumed by starting events on my Discord and absolutely just being fucking sleeping. Thank you for the gifted subs, Chlamydicus. Gifting to Webhebnan, Sander K, Andrew Mitten, DeAndre Garrett. I read that as Dead Garnet. Super wrong. And Caven Arian. Congratulations on all that stuff. Oh, the new Raiders data sheet came out? Oh, I did not know that. I knew that the new Defiler was dropped, which is fucking sick. Well, yeah, let's start with that. We'll start with new releases, and then we'll go over to Beachhead Brawl stuff. As we go, big thank you for all the memberships. Enjoy the games. I uploaded all the games this morning. Game 6 had some technical issues, so I have not uploaded it yet. And I may not. I have to review the footage. I realized during the game that the dice cam had frozen, and I don't know how much it actually has, and I actually don't know if it recorded all the audio. So the game 6 might be fucked, but all the other games. I'm a level with you, chat, though. Game 6 is a little bit of a bop. So I don't know if it was the most exciting content either. However, all the other 5 games are there. There were some absolute bangers on the recorded table. I would say rounds 3, 4, and 5 all looked sick. So you can go watch those now that you have a gifted sub. Also, I want to give shout outs to Easy Brynjar, Hawk Peets, and Andrew Dakel. They dropped in on the membership just before live stream. So pretty cool. Anyway, chance. Look at this thing. Oh, that's cursed. Why does it look like that? Can we make it look better? Search it. One sec. I'm gonna resize. It's still all the way onto the side. I don't know why it's so far over. Okay, that didn't help at all. Here we go. That's much better. Look at this guy, chat. What the fuck? I was so interested, or I was just like fascinated by this drop when they threw it out here. Because it's so clearly, like, if you squint, you can kind of tell that it is the old Defiler. Let's put the two together, right? If we go peek over at the Chaos Defiler over here, the OG one, here's the old Defiler. Open the picture. Here is the old Defiler. And if you squint really hard, you can kind of see it. It's got the big bulbous body. It's got the body. It's got the little head, the little angry head at the top. He's got the little head. Oh, okay. Hello. He's got the little head at the top. It's got the big spider legs, obviously. He's got the big spider legs and the pincers. And it's got the chest gun, right? Chest gun and chest gun. But, so, like, the design through line is there, right? But this is, like, some new resculpts they release is like, oh, it's the same thing, but it's in 4K, right? We've up HD'd it. We've up-resed it. Like a lot of the new Space Marine characters that they just released, right? Like new Vulcan, new Lysander. They look like the old ones, but they're a bit more detailed. This is like a spiritual successor to the original Defiler. And honestly, chat, I think my one complaint, if I were to have one, is that it looks like every Defiler is going to be the same. So if you ever have 3 of them, it's going to be like the Norn Emissary. You ever see a triple or a quadruple Norn list? Every Norn is doing the little dance, doing the little, like, it's got one claw over and one claw in front of it. And it looks really silly. And I think that this is going to be the same. It does not look particularly posable. Which means that the first Defiler is going to look sick and every other Defiler is going to look really stupid. But that is a small price to pay for greatness, I think, because this is one of the coolest models that Games Workshop has thought about and concocted in their little nefarious brains in a really long time. It's got little head swaps, so you can do different heads for all the different kinds of Defilers. Super cool. It looks like there's an Emperor's Children one. I don't know if they confirm it here. It says God-specific options. It looks Emperor's Children-y, but it could just be Slaanesh, right? I hope that there's an Emperor's Children one, because Emperor's Children could really use a big demon engine with a gun on it. Please, God. Please give us a demon engine with a gun on it. That would be sweet. GW confirmed on Facebook the Legions are getting them. That's cool. It's probably just because I haven't never seen them. Do Thousand Suns have a Defiler? They do. They do indeed. Actually, I've just now read. They give enhanced Overwatch. Cool, man. Super helpful. Thanks, Defiler. My hope is that we see an improved Defiler datasheet. Now, the thing is, like, I don't know how big this thing's going to be. Like, they put it next to Guardsman, and it looks like it's smaller than the current Defiler. The current Defiler is, like, very big. And it might be littler. I don't know if they talked about the base size. Can we search and see if they say base? No, they do not. So they will have to do something impressive. Now, first of all, it does have like a bunch of different weapon options, which is cool. They kind of showed them in the background here. We have a double laser cannon guy versus autocannon plus a missile launcher. And then it looks like their chest gun's different, and they have different, I guess are they all Bale Flamers? The little nipple guns? The armpit cannons? I imagine that they are. But that is like it's a lot of DECA, right? So it looks like they're probably going to improve their weapon options somewhat. But they are going to have to do something to make the 160 mil base actually viable, because it's super tough to move right now. Like, it needs to be baseline much faster, like move 12, move 14 kind of thing. Where they can actually maneuver around terrain, because it actually doesn't really move that far because it has to go around stuff. So you could give it a ludicrous movement characteristic and actually give it the ability to move, or, you know, in areas of the table. And then also, like, much more difficult to kill because you can never hide it, right? So my hope is that they don't just transpose the existing datasheet and then make this sick model that no one will ever buy. Although, if I were to put my conspiracy tinfoil hat on, that is something that they have done in the past, where when they make a model that's really cool, they're like, all right, who cares what it does? Because people are going to buy it anyway. But when they make a model that sucks, like a Desolator squad, they're like, we'll make it super broken. So that people actually buy it. And I hope that's not what happens here, where it's this cool model, but no one will ever play it because of the logistics of playing it. We'll see. I don't know. We'll find out. They might give it move through terrain. Yeah, it'd be cool if it had the knights like move through terrain. It also, because its base is like 6 inches, it's so fucking big. It will also probably need a higher movement characteristic. It has a difficult time actually utilizing a move through walls rule if it retains its current. It's move 8 right now, right? It's like actually just a little slow boy. Yeah, he's move 8 currently. You're never gonna get anywhere with that thing. Never gonna get anywhere. So it definitely needs to be more impressive. It's currently T11, 14 wounds. Like, you could push it up to, like, I don't know, Land Raider defensive characteristics plus. It would be cool if it was like a small knight, right? If it was this, like, right now it's like 145 points, I think, or 165 points, depending on which version you get. And it's like a heavy battle tank. It's not even a heavy tank. It's like I don't know, it's an above average battle tank. It's like a midpoint between like a Predator and a Land Raider. It would be cool if it was like a greater demon. I think would be kind of sick, right? You push that guy up to fucking 20 wounds and give him T12 or T13 and really fast and 5+ invul and 2+ armor kind of thing. And then he's like 270 points or something, but he's this big central piece that has a million attacks. I think that would be the place it wants to be. You also don't, I think, want to incentivize spamming it too. Like I said before, it's going to look kind of silly if it only has one pose. So making it big and expensive and making it so that one of them's really good, I think would be the platonic ideal of the new Defiler. In any case, chat, this guy is really, really cool. I like it. Defiler has a crop top and low riding shorts. It so does. I do think, as much as I like that they're leaning into like the weird, like fleshy Vashtor aesthetic, because I think that differentiates Demon Engines from just being funny looking like walkers. I don't like how they painted it. I don't like that they just painted it like like a fucking human. That does feel weird. I do like that it is meaningfully different from just being a big spindly boy, right? And it looks different than like the Horus Heresy drones and things like that. It has more than one pose, does it? I only see the one, but maybe I'm a crazy person. I guess like there's one where it has its guns like pointed forward. If that's what you mean. But I think the leg pose I think is more important. It's a femboy Defiler. It's so submissive and breedable, chat. All right, let's talk about new data sheets. There are custom character rules. Is that a Crusade thing? Oh, it is, yeah. Okay. We will not pay attention then. All right, let's talk about Corsair Raiders. Just go right at a picture showing the heads. Oh, I can drag the picture. I see what you're saying. I see. It's like really zoomed in for me for some reason. I don't know why this website is really off center. I think my whatever HTML they're using is funny for me. So I don't know what's going on here. This is it like standing up. Okay, so this one's like on its tippy toes, and then that's the one in this pose. So there's two. So there's like the leaning one, and then the tippy toe one, it looks like. I guess that is better. And if you change the war gear, it probably won't look so weird. Oh, it's also got an Iron Warrior's hat. Right? That's not any of the God-specific hats, right? We're back to the OG days of Games Workshop, chat, where it's just a million extra bits. I love it. This guy's going to have like 17 weapons and 7 heads. Sick. I'm in. I'm so in. Does it have like spikes too? Oh, it has optional spikes too on the carapace. Oh, dude. If this is what Games Workshop does to like I watched it. Spiky Bits had a really great short that they released the other day where they were talking about Games Workshop like in the era of 3D printing. Brian Scanlon
_Scanlon donated $2 through Super Chat. The new Defiler looks great. Love your content.
Thank you so much for the Super Chat. Appreciate you, bud. It does look good. And I kind of wonder if there's like market pressure for Games Workshop to go back to the OG days where they like really incentivize kit bashing. where the kits have like a lot of extra added value. The like mid 2010s Games Workshop, where every kit is make one thing, like literally no extra parts to save on like sprue space. I wonder if they want to veer away from that. I doubt it, honestly, but it would be nice. I don't know. Anyway, chat, let's talk about some Corsairs. So new Corsair datasheet dropped. This is the stuff that the Lords of the Maelstrom can join into, and we didn't know what they were. There are 3 base wounds, OC2 baseline, T4, normal stuff. They're basically just 3 wound legionaries. And the first time they destroy an enemy unit until the end of the battle, while this unit is not battle shocked, add 1 to the objective control characteristic. Okay. But they have to kill something. You can take them in 5s, which is good. And they can take a hand flamer, which you will do. Statistically, significantly higher damage output than a bolt pistol. And for every 5 models in the unit, you get 1 Power Fist and 1 Melty Gun. And the champion has just a sword. Ooh, okay. I am whelmed, chat. That's a cool... Oh, they infiltrate. I guess that's the thing. They infiltrate naturally. All right. Okay. So they're like an interesting utility unit with infiltrate. If you have an advance and charge outlet for them, then I think that's actually pretty sweet. But so then you can like threaten other utility top of 1. And having 3 wounds in the middle of the table makes them like kind of annoying to deal with. But it doesn't seem like they do much else. I think they need to be inexpensive for 3 wounds. Because they have like super mid damage output. They have just strength 5, AP 1 damage. It's not even a curse weapon. So if they're like post, what would a good value for this unit be? Like infiltrate's so strong, but they do like very little else. Like 95 for a 5er, 21 points per model. Even that feels like a lot. I mean, the 3 wounds is a big deal, but like, is it that big of a deal? I guess they're sort of like, they have the Vanguard veteran thing where you can string them to an objective to like get turn 1 secondaries, and then they won't die to a single activation unless that activation is like something super meaty. So maybe like 100. I could say a unit of like one of them for like 95 or 100. Any more than that, and I don't think I would play them. Even 95 feels like a lot, maybe 85 or 90. Just like these profiles are these numbers not good. I like that they're all about taking objectives though. It's kind of interesting. The Reeve Captain can join into Chosen Legionaries or Red Corsairs. Each time his unit ends a charge move, you get +1 strength and +1 AP. Okay. He himself has either a power small or a power sword. His power sword is strength 5 AP 2, sustained 1, 7 attacks. Jesus. So any of his weapons can go up to either 6, 3, 2, or 6, 3 basically, and then you choose either a million attacks or 2 damage. And then if you charge something on an objective marker, you get charge rerolls. The benefit here is that he doesn't strip infiltrate from the unit, so he's basically like the only reasonable attachment to these guys. Because otherwise they'll have non-infiltrators in the unit and they'll lose infiltrate. They'll actually go back to the start. Because I don't believe they have they don't have an infiltrate attachment clause, yeah. So usually you'll see some units will have like a character attaching to this unit gains infiltrate so that you can still infiltrate with them, which actually would be a cool a cool way to use these guys is you can deliver characters into the midboard really easily. But they don't do that. So if you want to keep the only thing that's unique about their data sheet, you would need to attach this guy. And I guess like strength 6 AP2 is good. He needs to be cheap as fuck though. Because I don't know. Also, I will point out as well, no leadership abilities. Only this model's unit abilities. I kind of wish that they would just take every fucking leadership ability in the game and just turn it into that. That would just clean up so many interactions and make everything better. But yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, this guy, he definitely makes it more reasonable for those guys to like slam in and kill something meaty on like turn 1 or turn 2 when they're trading for objectives, then turn on their 3 OC thing. But like, I don't do. If we're fighting like guardsmen or whatever, do I need a whole character to do that? I think these guys are going to be good enough, probably. So I don't know if I like this. Also, he has sustained hits and dark packs, which means he most of the time won't gain benefit from that keyword. Because I think a lot of times you're fighting T3 infantry, you're going to sustain hit anyway on your Reaver squad. So this is like kind of a blank keyword. Also, no chaos icon. I'm souring. I don't know. He only buffs himself. Oh, does he? Oh, it's this model. Oh my god, you're so right, chat. Every time this model's unit ends a charge move, add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by this model. Oh my god. No, you're right. No, he's fucking trash. He is atrocious. If he's really cheap and he infiltrates by himself, like what she does, so you can have a little independent little guy, and he's like, I don't know, what would be a points value for this guy? Like 450 points. I could see it. But oh boy, that's not a particularly interesting character right there. Yikes. Jesus. All right, chat. Well, we started strong with the Masters of the Maelstrom, but oh boy, has the chaos lineup for this new book been kind of ending with a whimper here. Yikes. 40 on a rainy Tuesday? 40 feels low. I don't know. Like he's still like 5 shrink 6 AP3, right? 40 feels like it would be low. You compare him to like I don't know. What's a Space Marine? What's a Phobos Captain? Probably too many because he's a redeployment. So Phobos Captain's like 65? He's 70? What the fuck? 70 points for this piece of shit? How is the Phobos Captain have worse damage output than the Combi Lieutenant? Who wrote these data sheets, bro? That's crazy. It's like the same model. I could fix this Phobos Captain for you so quickly too. Man. Just give him lone operative. Give him like sick melee profile. And give him like an up down or something. If he had the cave and strike ability for his unit, I think he'd play this guy. But even then, and 70 points for an infiltrate character. I feel like 50. I think people would pay 50 for this dude. Matt Ward wrote those data sheets. I bet he's at least 60. Yeah, he's gonna be 60 and he's gonna be unplayably bad. Oh boy. Anyway, chats, that wasn't exciting. I hope that Defiler data sheet. I hope the Defiler gets a new data sheet. I hope it's good. I hope it's better than this dog shit. I think if they undercost these guys by accident, they might be okay, right? Infiltrators. There's not a ton of infiltration in the Chaos Space Marine Codex, right? And so having like natural infiltrators is cool. And like having 3 wounds is kind of neat. And sometimes they have an OC thing that they do, which probably won't matter, but who knows? But like it's just a unit that can like threaten your opponent's expansion objective, like turn 1 or whatever. They can go kill 10 guardsmen or something. I think that is not unreasonable. What I do think is unreasonable is if they make these guys like 120 points or something. If they make them like 80, all right, we're talking. We're having a discussion now. If they push him to like 1,000,000 points, get fucked. Absolute dog shit. His 120 centimeter base. It's like the size of the table. There's no way they're 80. My brother in Christ, Space Marine intercessors are 80, and they shoot 24 times. And are OC2 with OBSEC and have a power fist. These guys could be 80. They have infiltrate and don't do anything else. If they're 100 points, this is unplayably bad. There is an established what's the word? Like series of units that of like, 5 model utility units that are exceptionally inexpensive. What's a Tormentor squad? Are they 90? Or they're 85, right? I think that's like the closest approximation, right? A Tormentor squad is 85. It infiltrates, it objective secures, it gains CP. It has very similar damage output, or I guess it's not similar. It's worse in melee, but it has special weapons, like many special weapons. It advanced shoots and charges. I think 80 would not be unreasonable, right? And that's like infiltrate plus obsec. That's like the god combo, and that's 85 points. I think the 80 range for this unit would not be insane. Especially, I think, in a faction that has less synergistic effects with them, right? The 3 wounds is nice because it's less chance you lose a guy when you Dark Pact yourself. But, like, without a Chaos Icon, there's a not unreasonable chance they just fuck up their own army ability. So, like, I don't know. I think that's pretty okay. Yeah, also Tormentors are faster, indeed. These guys have better melee, more wounds, and infiltrate. Dude, I would take an Intercessor squad against these guys any day. You want to fight with them? You want to compare melee stats? You want to compare combat stats? An Infiltrator squad will wipe the floor with these fuckers. Because before they do anything, you get shot 60 times. As it turns out, having 21 AP 1 plus ranged attacks better than whatever this datasheet says. I don't, and I will accept no substitute. Anyway, chat. Yeah. These guys, I think, in order to have a space and not just be like bad Chaos Bikers, which they're directly competing with, which are 70, right? Chaos Bikers are like incredibly efficient. Yeah. Then they need to be inexpensive. The competition in the 50 to 90 point utility range in the Chaos Space Marine Codex is tight. Because you're also talking about like, I mean, that's a regular Legionary Slave. That's their 90, right? But they get a las cannon and wound rerolls, so that's like different. And cultists and spawn. There's a lot there. Getting intercessed. So true. All right, chat. Well, that was not very inspiring. Cool Defiler, not cool data sheets. None of the new Iron Warrior stuff got previewed yet, huh? Just the models. Sad. That makes me sad. Here's a question I have. I just flipped to the data sheet just to take a peek. Oh, man. Chat. The Masters of the Maelstrom do not have Infiltrate. So if you join Masters of the Maelstrom to your Red Corsair squad, the whole unit loses Infiltrate. Get absolutely fucked, dude. Who wrote these rules, bro? Why? Why do they do this? They're just like, they're trying as hard as they can to stop you from taking that unit. I mean, I guess would it be super crazy if you had like Huron plus 5 dudes plus 5 more dudes all infiltrate? Maybe. I think that would be a lot. But like, that's the unit they're supposed to attach with. Why the fuck do you have no synergy? There's no synergy. There's no reason to take them like that. Does Huron also strip their infiltrate too? He fucking does, dude. Why are they really, why are they like this? My bro. Just that it would have been super cool if the Red Corsair guys had like the infiltrate clause or any attached like stuff gets infiltrate. That would be cool. Oh man. Yikes, chance. Well, oh well. Masters can redeploy raiders, yeah. They just they don't want to redeploy the raider that they're in because it just goes back to their deployment zone. I don't know, chat. I don't know. Anyway, well, let's use this scenario. You have them on an objective turn 1 behind cover so they can't be shot. Opponent tries to knock them off with JPI. They live and they score you primary turn 1. Not if they... Oh, I guess, yeah. You'd have to lose less than 3 of them to an entire jump back intercessor squad, which feels like, I don't know if it will happen. But, you know, you're right. But I think that's like I said, I think the direct comparison is Vanguard veterans, right? Because like VGV have storm shields, the little 5-mans you play in like Wrath of the Rock and stuff. They have storm shields, so you can stack defensive buffs and you can make them very difficult to one shot. And then they play over objectives really well. The difference is that obviously the Vanguards are like a little bit better in melee and they're faster, but they don't infiltrate and, you know, they're not OC2. So like, I don't know. It's kind of a side grade. And I think that's an interesting point of comparison where it's like, it's a unit that it's a utility unit that will do actions and stuff, but is difficult to kill, right? It won't just simply fall down to one thing. And I don't know, that by itself is interesting, but that unit's only 95. And I still think having move 12 is better than infiltrating, in my opinion. JPI needs to do 9 wounds. I don't think that's unreasonable. Because you're going to do 3 on the way in already, right? With impact mortals. You can shoot them with plasma pistols. 2. You have 2 plasma pistols in that unit. And then you hit them with impact mortals. And then you swing 16 chainsword attacks and a power fist. Pretty sure you're going to do 9 damage. JPI, very good, chat. News at 11. All right. Anyway, folks, let's talk about some events. I would like to talk about the biggest event of the weekend because it was, I don't know, it was cool. I think I have to reset my, here, give me one sec, chat. I'm gonna reset my viewer here so it looks a little bit less scuffed. I don't know why. It's just because the way that the Warhammer community website is like really constrained and weird looking, and so it messes up my my viewer. Here we go. I have to reset it. Better. Much better. Now we can read. So 216 players for the Beachhead Brawl. A big ol' 6-round tournament. And there were a couple lists that won. I didn't get to talk about all of them. I did talk about Steven Box's list from Vanguard Tactics. He went undefeated with Deathwatch, 6-0. And I think there were some people who are like, well, Steven Box, he went 5-0 with Deathwatch last week, but it was on his own tournament, or 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. It was like it was an internal Vanguard Tactics tournament. What does that prove? I get some comments like that, and I think this is pretty good show from Mr. Steven Box here. First of all, man's back to his old tricks with Deathwatch. I remember because Steven Box, I think, and I basically started playing 40k around the same time. And he started a little bit ahead of me and was making content. And he was making Deathwatch content back in 8th edition. And I was like, he's a Deathwatch guy. And it's cool to see him back on Deathwatch. He's not playing weird, like, Custodes biker lists or whatever. And he's having a ton of success with them. So that's cool. With 10 Terminators in his list. Pretty cool stuff. However, we want to talk about some of the other lists that went undefeated here. One of them was a Kroot hunting pack from Ross Tully, which ended up winning. We've talked about a bunch of different Kroot hunting packs in the past. I think mostly we're just horde moding out the game. We'll grab our little reference sheet as well, so we can follow along with all the funny abilities that this detachment's going to have. So this gives an invulnerable save, as well as well, it mostly just gives an invulnerable save to your all your Kroot units, +1 to hit and wound if you're below starting or half strength when you're attacked by them. We've got a root carved weapon Warshaper. First of all Kroot characters, no like Shadow Sun or anything, which is cool. A root carved weapon Kroot Warshaper, which gives you devastating wounds. And the thing there is that if you take the bow, the dart bow, then he gets anti-infantry 3. So he shoots up to 4 2 damage, anti-infantry 3 devastating guns, because the root carved weapons applies to all his weapons, not just his melee attack. And then he also gets, I don't know, he gets like 5 devastating melee attacks. It's not great, but it is something. So that's kind of cool. 10 points for that. He's only 60 points. You could plow like 6 mortal wounds and something. Pretty sweet. We have a nomadic hunter trail shaper. So that's going to be +3 inches of movement characteristic, and you get assault. And then a Kroot Hawk Flock Lone Spear. This is the sort of classic combination where it gives you an Omni Scrambler aura. And then also you have Lone Operative. So he's basically like a Phobos Librarian infiltrate unit where you can't set up near him, and you also can't shoot him if you're not near him. So if you don't just walk on in within 12, you simply cannot attack him. You cannot jump in to try to get him. So he's just a really, really good backline screener. And we're running 2 units of 20 Kroot Carnivores, 4 units of 10 Kroot Carnivores, 2 units of 10 Kroot Farstalkers. So we have lots of Scout. These guys get Infiltrate, 15 Kroot Hounds for some utility, and then 27 big gorillas, 18 Krootox Rampagers, 9 Krootox Riders, plus a Vespid Stingwing unit. Just an insane amount of primary objective control. These guys just push super hard because we have just 1 million Kroot everywhere that can obsec all the front line. And then you basically just get threat overloaded by the Krootox Rampagers. With an invulnerable save against ranged attacks, a 5+ invulnerable save. Each of these units is 24 wounds, so it's very difficult to chew through. And then they're also going to hit you pretty hard if they do get the opportunity to. So you need to have the weird like anti-heavy infantry profiles to kill these guys through an invuln, and also the infantry sweeping to kill 100 Kroot, who all have stealth and all have invuln saves as well. Most a lot of armies can't do that, and right now there's a lot of these big horde armies who are kind of like playing the meta game, because we saw Derek Apshay do this at the event that I streamed over the weekend, the Winter Ruin, where he just played into like a bunch of people who are keyed to kill Catan shards, and he's like, I have 150 orc boys. What are you going to do? And then they said, nothing, I'm going to die. And then he's like, okay, cool. And that's usually what happens. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of sweet. It's a cool list, Chance. I don't know. It's kind of straightforward. I know some people are like, if you haven't, it looks funny to like on paper, but to watch it play, it's like, okay. It just runs across the table. Okay. I know some people are like kind of bored by it, but it is what it is. I don't know if there's anything else cool. I have not reviewed the X1 lists here, chat, so I don't know what to expect because I didn't have a lot of time this week. So we'll see. So the reason I don't stream these streams on Twitch? Oh. Because I think Twitch doesn't like archive very well, and I have a lot more like the shows that I can do here that are like have like a single what's the word? A single topic that we discuss, and it's basically like a video, but it's a little bit longer and more interactive. I can retain those on YouTube and then like timestamp them and add, chapters and things like that. I can't do that on Twitch. And the audience interaction is better on Twitch than it is here. So like the audience can do like more funny things if we're just doing more like laid back streams. So I tend to do the more like, I don't want to say scripted, but like the more prepared content on YouTube, and then the more laid back, like random streams on Twitch. That's about it. I also was threatened with violence in the past if I live streamed Tabletop Simulator on Twitch or on YouTube. So I don't know. I was kind of like, get fucked, I guess, to some extent. Not the greatest reaction when I used to stream TTS 40k here on the YouTube channel. I might go back. I don't know. I don't know what if it makes sense, like economically, I think I would stream here rather than on Twitch and then port the streams over. I do like having the VOD channel for all my replays and stuff where I can put them up and like edit them down. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. We'd have some demonic incursion go down. Byron Siju played Demonic Adventuring Party. Be'lakor, Kairos, Lord of Change, Rodigus, Scarbrand. No Ed. Makes me sad, chat. No Ed. I feel like they could cut Ed's cost a little bit now. He's not quite as toxic. Oh, he's toxic, but like in the way that he is a big, gross filth demon. Double Plague Bearers, Fiends, Double Screamers for utility. I kind of want to go back to Demonic Adventuring Party. I think I will. Shortly, probably. I do think that they catch some crossfire from Catan Shards, though, because a lot of the stuff that's good against Catan Shards is good against them. The exact profiles that you want to fight Catan Shards aren't like, it's not like a 1-to-1 ratio or a 1-to-1 comparison, but it is very similar. And I do feel like the greater demons do hit a lot of that stuff where it's just like we have to deal with 4+ invulnerable saves on big bricks that where we don't stack. We don't stack, what's the word? Like AP characteristic. And that's the way to do it. And so if you have like mass, medium to low AP lethal hits or whatever, that's very good against both Catan Shards and this, which is unfortunate. Probably the worst thing that could happen to Scintillating Legion, which was on track to be like one of the best lists in the game, was for Necrons to be incredibly good. And then everyone's like, oh, I need to be able to kill almost exactly a Lord of Change defensive profile. And then they just died. Demons do have really good utility scoring, though. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I do think, I think that's pretty nice for sure. There's some Dark Angels going down. Liam Callabout, an X and 1, playing Wrath of the Rock. Azrael, Deathwing Assault, Terminator Librarian. All these Terminator Librarians coming out of the woodwork. That's kind of cool. He gives you the a reroll on charges in addition to sustains, right? Am I crazy about that? He gives you just a 4+ feeling pin against psychic attacks and sustained hits one. I don't know what just happened to my viewer here, chat. Oh, I see what happened. There it goes. So, I mean, I guess, are the psychic attack thing that useful? I guess, like, sustained hits is nice. But is it better than a chaplain? Would you rather have sustained hits than take swords? I wonder what the math there is. Because on the Deathwing Knights, the Mace of Absolution. I don't know why I'm searching Mace of Absolution. The Deathwing Knight profile. The question you ask yourself is whether you take Anti-Monster, Anti-Vehicle 4 on 622, or you take 5 base attacks at 622 with no keywords. If you take a Chaplain and you get +1 to wound, then the power weapon is wounding on 4s naturally against any non-T12+, which means that the Chaplain is just going to be better, I think. Because sustained hits is basically like it's always a 17% increase in damage, right? Whereas getting an extra attack would be 20%. But I guess the downside is that you don't get the You don't get the bonus against T12, or it's not quite the same, right? You're actually worse against toughness 12. But like the great weapon is already sustained, so you're just taking the relic weapon. Interesting. We can see that definitely one of them was playing the relic weapon, so that if we took it with the Terminator, we would get sustained lethal. That's pretty good. I guess it's like you give up a little bit of efficiency against everything else, right? To take sustained hits maces instead of +1 to wound power weapons. I think the +1 to wound power weapons must get stronger against everything that's lower toughness, right? Against T4 or better, you're probably just like wildly improved. I don't know that off the top of my head though. I guess like toughness 3, you get no benefit either way, so you might as well have sustained hits. That's probably a consideration too. Maybe the sustained hits are okay. It's just like you are better into infantry, except you get more attacks. So I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. That's curious. I guess the Terminator Librarian also brings with himself a gun, and so you also get a gun, which is probably nice too. That's probably the clincher. You're like, I'm better in a wider variety of situations, and I have a gun, or I could take the chaplain who doesn't have those things and is just good into T11. 250 plus 75. Yeah. What is the chaplain? What is the Terminator chaplain? Is he's expensive, right? 75 also. Oh, it's the same cost. Interesting. The Terminator chaplain, I think, is also better in melee. He's 5 at 612 instead of 4 at 61D3. Yeah. And I guess like every once in a while you hit Scintillating Legion, and then this ability is like crazy good, which is probably another consideration. It's a very interesting thought process, I guess. They do feel very, very, very similar, right? You're like trading a little bit of damage output for like more consistency in a gun, and like this weird one matchup thing where sometimes you just fuck your opponent over. Where you're like -1 damage, 2+ armor save, like Armor of Contempt, and a 4+ field out pain against like Thousand Suns. Just get absolutely wrecked, Thousand Suns. That's cute. We have a Tempered in Battle Combi Lieutenant, just with the points filler aura there. We have Lionel Johnson, the Double Deathwing Knights, Desolation Squad, interesting. An Infiltrator Squad, Inner Circle Companions for Azrael, Stormspeeder Vengeance ×2, Dark Shroud Scout Squad. The Lampspeeder Vengeances, if I search Vengeance, there are, oh my god. There are like at least 15 stratagems with Vengeance in the name, if I look it up on 39K. The Landspeeder Vengeance we watched over the weekend, and I think I definitely forgotten like how strong this datasheet was. It's D6 +1 blast, twin link strength 9 AP3, and they're relatively inexpensive, right? They're 120 points for this just like super all-purpose profile. You can shoot into high toughness stuff in your twin linked, so you're just fishing for 5s on like usually 4 shots. So the chances you get 1 or 2 through is pretty high. It's relatively high AP, and it's high damage to shoot. And in some cases, you're just like pretty solid infantry sweeping too, because you get an assault cannon and then a blast attack that you don't even have to overcharge, right? Strength 8 AP2 is good in most cases. So you can shoot like 12 times for 120 points. Plus, they have an invuln save. Plus, they have this thing where if you destroy other units, they shoot you, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. I think a lot of people just forget it a lot of times. But when it comes up, it's really sweet. So when you play like a cloud of speeders everywhere, and they're all just shooting back at you, it's actually kind of a cool data sheet. The downside is that defensive profile, I think. It's toughness 8, 10 wounds. Gonna die pretty quick. But we watched a really cool Ironstorm Spearhead that was just a Dark Shroud, three Vengeances and a Thunderstrike, and you would just owe something, ping it with the Thunderstrike, and 3 Vengeances killed almost anything. You were shooting on average, 13 full hit reroll, wounding on force, twin linked. So you'd hand your opponent like, I don't know, 8 saves, 7 saves or whatever. At AP 3 damage. It was awesome. It was really cool. And just with their powers combined, they would just like take down big stuff. They were killing Leman Russes. They were killing Rogodorns. It was really sweet. Highly recommend you go watch that. And he played an insane game against Tao, by the way, on the patron table too. Over the weekend. It was really cool. Nice to see. I like that we're reaching a little deeper into the Dark Angel stable there. See if there's any other interesting data sheets in X and 1 here. It's a lot of normal stuff. There's a lot of Grizzled Company. There's some like Virulent Victorium, Death Card stuff. I think that a lot of these armies have kind of become mono builds in a lot of cases, where there's just one composition. It's actually a lot of Dark Angels, which is unfortunate. There is an invasion fleet. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Peter Balchin at 5-1 played invasion fleet with triple Broodlord, Exocrine. No, triple Broodlord, double Gene Stealer. He had a singleton Broodlord. Bro. Oh, probably had the perfectly adapted guy separate. No, wait a minute. No, it's a Biovore. Just kidding. It's double Broodlord. I thought that there was an individual Broodlord in there. It is double Broodlord. I just can't read. It's this is a very confusing list output. It is double Broodlord Biovore, but the Biovore is at the top of the list for some reason. Okay. We're all over the place. But you get a reroll here, which is cool. So that you can use you can reroll his hit roll. Well, I guess you don't need it for the reroll hit roll. All right. This is probably a points filler. He actually full rerolls everything. I don't know why you need the reroll there, but just in case, it's for saving throws. Why did we put that in the Hive Tyrant? That's unhinged. Does it give you charge rerolls? I actually don't know. If it gives you charge rerolls, it's actually sick. Oh, it does. Oh, it does, chat. I forgot. Advance or charge roll. So we can charge with a free reroll. That's cool. And then we can Hive Tyrant to sling a free roll at the other unit. And both Genestealer units can make like 7s without going crazy. That's very nice. I actually forgot about that. It's like so good on the Hive Tyrant though that I just never look back. Because he's full wound rerolls, and then usually he drops like 1 to 2 hits, and he rerolls the Monstrous Scything Talon hit, so he just becomes hyper consistent in melee. Or he has a saving throw reroll. But if you're jailing people with Broodlords turn 1, then it makes total sense. I get it. We have double Hormigons, Neurolictor, Neurotyrants, Psychophage, 1 Pyrovore, 1 Screamer Killer, chats. Screamer Killers do feel like they are
Johnny Matzo donated $2 Canadian through Super Chat.
What's up?
Showed a plate. Did you talk about Bastion BT et al?
We've not talked about Bastion Black Templars. I have like in the past at some point, but not today. It does seem like Screamer Killers are probably the unsung hero of this faction at this point. I think now that they're cheap, they're swinging 10 3 damage melee attacks. At strength 10, they go to strength 11 in Synapse, and you have a Neurotyrant, so you can get them in Synapse. And then very often, they're going to proc +1 to wound because they're going to shoot something with the Enforce a Battle Shock check and then get the Neurolictor bonus. So a lot of times, it's 10 strength 11 +1 to wound. In this case, they're either lethal or sustain because we're an invasion fleet. And that's something. That's certainly something, chat. The downside is like it's like really mediocre defensive profile, and they're slow as fuck. Like I don't know how you're supposed to get this thing in melee. But when you threat overload with like a Horror Specs and a bunch of Gene Stealers and shit, maybe it's fine. This list does have a 6-man of Zoanthropes plus 20 Termagants to carpet the middle, and then you can sort of counterattack with this guy. I think there's maybe a use case for a. I wonder if there's like a list that uses Subterranean Assault up-downs with Molochs to Battle Shock people to trigger Neurolictor auras, and then you put Screamer Killers into them. I bet there is. I bet that's a list. Because you can do the 2 Moloch build and get 2 rolls to force Battle Shock checks, and then Also, the Screamer Killers can force Battle Shock checks. And if any of those proc, you get +1 to wound, and you can start to kill big stuff. Like, these guys start wounding Catan Shards on 3s, which is probably not terrible. If you... I guess the problem, the question is, like, would you rather have this or, like, a Carnifex or something? I guess, like, these guys are cheap as fuck, so it doesn't really matter. But you're averaging, like, 7 hits through if you don't get super scammed. If you're in Subterranean, maybe 8. And then if you win on 3s, you hand them, like, 6 saves. They take 6 damage, take, like, 4 through filled up hands from 1 Screamer Killer, and you can do that with 2. And if you shoot them first, then like 2 Screamer Killers probably kill a Catan Shard if you have like Zone Thropes or something going in with Inflating Emergence. Plus their gun actually probably deals damage. It is strength 8. So like, I don't know. Maybe, is that fine? I don't know. I'm not sure it's fine. There's something there, chat. You can push them to AP3 with the Psychophage too. I don't know about delivery in Invasion Fleet, but definitely in Subterra, there's something. There's something going on. They're cooking up something. Those silly Tyranids. We've got some Space Wolves at X and 1 from Kobe Walters. Go over here. Running Saga of the Beast Lair. The Beast's Lair. Running Bjorn, Combi LT, Logan, Grimnar, Ragnar, Blackmane, Wolfguard Battle Leader, and another one with Helm. That's the AP reduction from monsters, I believe. It so is. Character, monster, vehicle. When they target you, reduce the armor penetration characteristic by 1. Get wrecked. Given that you are probably attaching into double sword head taker squads. Look at those double sword head taker squads. The AP reduction on these guys is actually kind of a big deal, and especially because I would say like 98% of the anti-heavy infantry shooting in the game comes from vehicles. It feels very reasonable that we would get the AP reduction on that. That feels very solid. We have Blood Claws. Is that for Ragnar? That must be, because the battle leader is almost certainly detached into the... I guess, can the Wolfguard Battle Leader attach to the Blood Claws? You can, right? Yeah. So I actually do wonder if one of these hops into the Blood Claw unit. And then we get Ragnar to give advance in charge to a Wolfguard Head Taker squad. Because he gives wound rerolls if he's in the Blood Claw unit, but this detachment is the lethal hits on fucking everything detachment. So I don't know how much we want the wound rerolls, whereas being able to deliver like the mass 2 damage lethal hits is actually kind of sweet. I would be curious about that. Traditionally, he's with the Blood Claws, but I think you could play like mass sustain lethal on these guys and just put him into a Wolfguard Battle Leader unit. It'd be kind of cool. Intercessor Squad, Impulsor, 1 Baldred. Reavers? What? A Scout Squad. Venerable Dreadnought. Does Venerable Dreadnought still give a reroll aura? I don't even know, dude. It's been so long. Dude, this list is nuts. This is the Grey Knights one. That's not helpful. Thank you, 39 Diet Kate. I appreciate you, bud. Venerable Dreadnought is at the bottom over here. Wait a minute. How do I find it? Oh, it's the Space Wolf one. Do these guys have a baby dread profile? Yeah. Oh, it's just called Dreadnought if it's in the Space Marine one. I see. And they do have a hit reroll aura. But this one is the Space Wolf Venerable Dreadnought, which in fairness, in my defense, used to be called Space Wolf Venerable Dreadnought. I guess it's just called a Venerable Dreadnought now. There he is. He gives +1 to advance and charge rolls. Oh, cool. So whichever squad Ragnar's, or yeah, if Ragnar hops into a Wolfguard Headtaker squad, This is essentially a +2 charge aura, right? Because you get +1 on the advanced roll and +1 on the charge roll. The biggest downside of Saga of the Beast Slayer is that it has no threat range extension, right? So, being able to deliver units is problematic for it. However, if you have this fucker who gives you +2 if you both advance and charge near him, and you have 2 separate units, the Bloodclaws and Ragnar's head taker unit that can advance and charge, you actually have like kind of long threat ranges, right? And their base move 7, so they go to essentially move 9 plus a charge plus advance and charge. They threat on average like 19-20 inches. It's cool, chat. I like it. Plus 3 units of Wolfen. Plus, he just gives you +1 to charge and all your other stuff. So he makes your charge phase like way more consistent. I like that. That's a cool list. Saga of the Beast Slayer. Yeah, that's what it is. You lay the beasts. And then you get him a gun too. He's just a big gun guy with a Hellfrost cannon, the big 5 damage gunshot. I don't know if I'm that excited about that. You could also take the Blizzard Shield for the 4+ invuln save, which makes me really happy. But I guess in most cases, a 2+ armor and a 4+ invuln are very similar. So you just might just take a gun. Either way, chance. I like this. This is cool. 130 points. It gives you basically your whole army between +1 and +2 movement. That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good, chits. This list rules. What a cool list. Any other good ones? I think we can keep the Space Wolf talk going. There's another one with Stormlance. This is probably going to look a lot more normal. Bjonners, Combi Lieutenant, Logan, Wolfguard Battle Leader, 1 Intercessor Squad for the backline, Utility Scout Squads, Thunderwolf Cavalry ×2, Vindicator, Head Takers, Double Sword. Oh no, Storm Shield. Who's joining with them? Battle Leader, I guess. Interesting. With a Thunderhammer. Even more interesting. Terminators ×2, Wolfen ×2. Yeah, this is kind of normal stuff. Regular old Space Wolf, Thunderwolf Cavalry stuff. Nice. You'll love to see it. Sort of looking at down at the bottom of the roster here. There was X1 World Eaters. It is a Berserker Warband of the most Berserker Warbandist variety. Angron, Karn the Betrayer, Master of Executions with Favored, +1 Slaughterbound with Berserker Glaive. We had Khorne Berserkers ×2, just 10 mans to go into Rhinos. Spawn ×3, 8-bound ×2, Exalted 8-bound Goremongers Jackals. Yeah, it's like, we've seen this list a million times. Unfortunate that World Eaters are in such a rough spot that they have one list now that they play. Feels bad because it would be cool if Gorchak Onslaught was like any good or any of the other detachments, but it just feels like this Angron Berserker list is where you're at. You're like, okay, I guess we'll just keep trucking with this, I suppose. I think that is basically all the interesting results from the Beachhead Brawl. However, there were a couple other larger events that we can discuss, that we can go over. A lot of them were team events. Let me grab one of the larger ones. But there were a couple 70-player like majors. Is it a major if it's 70 players? I guess it's not quite. We had Dutch Masters, which had a couple undefeateds. There was a X0-1, a natural draw round 1 from Kjell Lutz here, who played Thousand Suns. I didn't talk about him because I usually go only, I restrict my discussions to 5-0 lists and not X0-1. unless there's like extenuating circumstances, like there's not a lot of results for the week. So I didn't talk about this list on best armies this weekend, but he did technically go undefeated. Technically, had a winged demon prince with Eldritch Vortex, triple sorcerer. Oh no, double sorcerer, unprolific crystal sorcerer with a Terminator armor. It's 2 Rurik units, a Forge Fiend, cool. I bet there's a bunch of instances where -1 to hit's like kind of sweet actually right now. If you're playing non-Star Shatter Catan shards, just like flipping -1 to hit into a Catan shard is like really obnoxious. Like flaring them makes their damage output like precipitously drop because a lot of them are just hitting on 2s, no rerolls unless they have Silent King. So if you push that to all their attacks hitting on 3s, and because they activate in multiple phases, it affects like in some cases like 15 attacks, 20 attacks over the course of a single activation. On like Void Dragon, for example, can really like fuck with their day. So you can have a Forge Fiend like kill an Ophidian Destroyer unit and shoot 1 Ectoplasma Cannon at like a Nightbringer or Void Dragon or something and just like mess up their attacks. Doesn't work in Star Shatter Arsenal mostly, but because they can get +1 to hit there. But if they don't have that, it can be really awkward. We've Scarab called Terminators, Sekitar Robots ×2, Enlightened, Greatbow Enlightened, Zangors. This is very similar to the other, the list that went actually 5-0 here. Martinj Vandermost. But we cut 1 Sorcerer unit for another Enlightened unit and a Forge Friend. That was, in fact, the only change there. I wonder, too, if there was, like, a consideration for heavy infantry. You know, there's, like, Indomitor kill teams and stuff, and being able to amp a Forge Fiend with your buffs and then just dump him into a big unit of 10 3-wounders, he'll just kill, like, half the unit by himself. He will deal an unspeakable amount of damage. This being a relatively large 5-rounder, though, I'm sure there's a lot of X1s that we can discuss. There's an invasion fleet that is almost identical to the invasion fleet we just talked about. And there's a Bastion task force. We found it, chat. Let's go. There's Mitchell Klein over here. Went 4-1. It was 4-1 in a 70-player event, though. So I think that 4-1 is in a lot of cases, if the event had gone to 6-0, there's a pretty reasonable chance you hit 5-1. Double Cashelin, Grimaldus, Emperor Champion, a Combi Lieutenant, plus a Marshal, plus double Marshal. So 1+1 AP Marshal, 1 I am battle line now. You can take 6 of me enhancement Marshal. We have Assault Intercessors ×3, Crusader Squad plus an Intercessor Squad. 2 units of Jump Assault Intercessors, an Outrider Squad, 1 Repulsor Executioner, 1 Sword Brethren. So we have the Sword Brethren, we can attach the I am a battle line friend to, and then 2 big Crusader Squads, or 1 big Crusader Squad that will probably be the... Oh, we don't have Helbrecht, huh? It's Grimaldus. So I guess Grimaldus can hop into the 20-man here, and then you can like amp them with +1 toughness and -1 to be wounded, right? So they can actually be really, really difficult to kill. So you don't lose too much, and then you get good blood surges. Kind of cool. And then the Assault Intercessors are really good here for these like Castle and Marshal combos because they also get wound rerolls. It's a 5-man, I imagine, for the Emperor's Champion, and then a 10 can eat Castle and a Marshal combo, and then the other 2, the +1 AP combo, I imagine, and then the other 2 can go into the other unit, or Grimaldus goes there, I guess. Either one's fine. Interesting. Intercessors for the backline, JPI ×2, Outrider. That's cool. I guess the Outrider in Black Templars naturally must be pretty good, because the downside of Outrider squads is that they are, well, I guess there's 2 downsides. They're only strength 5, so they're good into like explicitly T4 stuff. But if they have the +1 to wound Templar Vow, which you're almost always doing in Bastion Task Force, the Outrider squad goes kind of hard with like the 2 damage melee attack on the charge. And then we have Repulsor, Executioner, Scout, Sword Brethren. I don't think you can -1 in Bastion. Any non-battle line, right? That's weird. So you can't like -1 the bikers, right? I assume. The effect is Angels Defiant. Yeah, battle line only. So I think they're just benefiting from the +1 to wound, most likely. Which is good. They're good at killing other utility. Although it's weird that like the strength 5, I mean you're +1 to wound either way. But the +1 strength makes it so that you don't benefit from the +1 strength oath that often. But it does make you significantly better against T9. Like between toughness 6 and toughness 9, where the +1 strength doesn't do you any good. You're +2 to wound against T9 at that point. So, I don't know. Just nice to have fast movers as well. I do wonder if this was 1990, if that unit would be another JPI squad, though. I don't think I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think. More invasion fleets. Oh my god. The X1 in all these events is fucking riddled with invasion fleets. There is a coterie of the conceited. It's like normal stuff though. We're in the same spot with, I guess it's, I mean, all the chaos cult factions are like, they have one build, right? Unholy, this one's a coterie, Emperor's Children, triple wing demon prince, 1 pledge of unholy fortune, so we get the flip. 2 Lord Exultants with term infractor squads. Oh, there's one unattached infractor squad here. That's interesting. So we can trade for pledge early by just like charging into 10 fucking morons and killing them for a pledge point without having to deliver a Lord Exultant to your opponent. That's cool. 2 Tormentors, 2 Chaos Rhinos, Chaos Spawn, 3 Norse Marines. Yeah, that's the list. The one list that exists. It's an okay list, but it is not very flexible, unfortunately. I don't know if there's much else interesting to talk about from this event. Yeah, that's basically everything. It's not like Emperor's Children can take other stuff. Yeah. Well, soon they'll have a Defiler, right? So that's good. That's something. Hopefully the Defiler datasheet is good for them because I think that thing could be like hugely transformative because a demon keyworded vehicle is so good in Court of the Phoenician. I bet there's like weird rampant evisceration synergies too. No, it's all transport synergies actually. Just kidding. Get fucked. Oh, there's a move through wall strat. No, there's a move through model strat. That's stupid. That's a bad strat. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, I guess not rapid evisceration. But at least Court of the Phoenician, because then you get move through walls, right? And you get -1 to wound, and you get reroll charge aura on all of that. And if that thing is base high movement characteristic, which I hope to God it is, being a fucking huge big piece of shit, then you get this like big meaty front line, so you can get around playing stupid Mauler Fiends. I don't know. I think it's actually gonna be great. Plus, it's a gun. Like you could play Coterie if it's just good at shooting, and you could advance and shoot it. You could just play Coterie and trigger early points off of just killing utility stuff with just a trillion like flamer shots off that guy. If he shoots like a battle cannon plus 2 bale flamers plus 2 like laser beams, like dude's gonna be sick. And then you can amp it with rerolls later on. I don't know. I think it's gonna be transformative to the faction, honestly. Emperor's Children Fire might be faster too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that they give like the base movement is like 12 on those things, just to give them the ability to move around terrain features. Because even if they give them like the Titanic move through walls ability at move 8, they have to go so far to get there to do that. If they're not like at minimum move 10 and hopefully move 12, then it would be tough. But if like they're move 10 and then you push that guy to move 12 or move 14, then I don't know, could be cool. Could be cool, chance. All right, let's find some interesting stuff at Dice Hammer. There is more Black Templars. It is also Bastion Task Force, so okay. Mike Ingham for just any other detachment from anyone. We have a Hallowed Martyrs for TacticalTortoise. Let's talk about that. We're definitely, I don't know. I think, I don't even know if like things will shake up once Catan gets sort of toned down. Because I don't know how much, like it's just armor. It's just big beefy bricks. Like I don't know how much that's like warping the metagame. And I think it's just everyone has like just good detachments, so that's what they play. So everyone's like, there's a 99% chance that you know exactly what people are playing when you look at their faction, which is right now, which is I think, I don't know, making the coverage a little bit less interesting for sure. So Michael George's over here. Running Hallowed Martyrs with the Saintly Example Canoness, through Suffering and Strength, Jump Back Canoness, 1 Hospitaller. That's interesting. Junith Morven, double Immolator. Arcoflage, double Castigator with autocannon, or 1 battle cannon, 1 autocannon. So we can start with Ignore Cover and then give +1 AP and then plow in with the autocannons later. Sacrosanct. So it is a Sacrosanct brick. That's interesting. I guess the nice thing about that is that you can Divine Intervene the Hospitallers. So it's like the Awakened Dynasty units where even if your opponent gets line of sight to the Hospitaller and kills her, you're just like, I'll add her back to the unit. Fuck you. And then I'll retain my regeneration and my -1 to be wounded. A Dominion squad with Flamers. Another Dominion squad with Meltaguns. Is this Flamer unit good? So many people play it. And like, it's strength 5. It's 46 strength 5, which I guess is okay. But like, let's say we're shooting at like guardsmen, right? What do we average? 14 shots? We went on 3s and they save on 5s? It doesn't even kill like a guardsman squad. Oh, I guess there's also a hand flamer, so it probably does kill a guardsman squad. If they are take cover though, that you won't kill them. I'm always curious about these units. I think that part of the thing is that I don't tend to play armies that are susceptible, like greatly susceptible to flamer units. Maybe I'm just like in the minority here. Because like 90% of what I'm playing is like power armor shit or vehicles or monsters, and they don't really care about this unit. But I'm like way more scared of the Meltagun Inferno pistol units, where they're just shooting 5 Melta shots at you, than I am these like random flamer squads. It's so interesting to me because I mean they're clearly effective, right? Some of the strongest sisters players in the game have played multiple flamer Dominion squads, but I'm like, is that all it is? All there? You know, it's just 5 flamers. Okay, I mean I guess so. Don't roll low. Especially with how sisters tends to, they do oftentimes have problems with clearing, like big heavy armor, right? Where you like, I feel like you would prefer to have the Meltagun team, but maybe I'm a crazy person. Maybe I'm a crazy, insane weirdo guy. I don't know. Paragon Warsuits, Retributors, Sanctifiers. This squad makes sense. That's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not curious about the Sanctifiers. I think those are definitely good. Then Zephyrum for, we have Celestine, right? No, we don't. So Zephyrum or just utility unit. I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe I'm off base, but I'm like, I'm gonna put all that work into 5 flamers. I guess so. It must be matchup dependent though. 11 to 12 wounds to a guardsman unit. Armor is easier to kill? Dude, not to hear literally every sisters player in the world say that. Every sister player I've ever spoken to has been like, armor's too, it sucks to kill. It's too inefficient. It's inconsistent. Everything sucks. I've never heard a sisters player be like, armor T12, easy. I mean, Morvenval will kill it for sure, right? But if Morvenval doesn't like go insane, then like, I don't know. We just hope our Attributors convert. I guess that's fine. I don't know. Chat. Maybe I'm not keyed into the sister's zeitgeist over here. Could be a local meta thing too. Yeah, for sure. It's 11 to 12 wounds to guardsman unit. So it's D6 strength 4, or I guess it's all winning on 3s. So it's just 5d6. So you're getting like 18. And then you win on 3s. So it's 12, but then they save is the problem. So they don't die. Like realistically, you almost certainly never kill a unit with a 5+ armor save with this squad. In fairness, it is only 60 points. So like we are talking about a unit that's very cheap. But a lot of times when you're talking about those utility units, you either want to kill them or not engage with them. Because trading just trades down, and then if there's 2 guardsmen left, they're almost as effective as 10 guardsmen. You know what I'm saying, chat? You know what I'm saying? Right, strength 5 and strength 4 doesn't matter, though. If you're shooting T3, the distinction is irrelevant. It doesn't make a difference. They don't, like, have an AP value somewhere, right? That I'm, like, missing. They're just strength 5. They're just strength 5 AP 0, right? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it must be helpful. I wonder, too, if, like, it's a unit that you can just cut lines with and they can just, like, try to clear units holding objectives. They go kill the combi weapon lieutenant. Do they, though? Wait a minute. If you shoot 18 times, if you hit 18 times, you wound, like, 1-ish with the hand flamer. And then you wound, it's, like, 14 hits with the other guys. So let's say you hand him 9. So you hand him 10 saves. He fails 3 of them. Or maybe 4, and then has a field no pain. You didn't even kill a combi weapon lieutenant with these guys. I don't know. I don't know, chat. I'm not sure. It's decent into chaff and better than trading a castigator to kill 10 guardsmen, but you don't kill 10 guardsmen. That's what's throwing me. You kill 8, right? You kill 8 guardsmen, and then 2s are alive, and then they still go do stuff. I don't know. Assault in the reactive move is good, but we could reactive move a Meltagun team that just plowed 6 damage into your Rogaldorn. I don't know, chap. It's not like this list is ineffective. So I'm not like I'm certainly not arguing that I think the list is bad or anything because it has a flamer unit in it. It's just it's like funny to me because I don't know if I have seen the effect of the flamers. Like I don't think I've personally seen the flamers be that effective, but it's clear that those lists are doing well. So I think it's just for matchups that I'm not a part of. They're good at the Tyranids. Take that, Tyranids. You want to eat 5 flamers? No, you don't. Get wrecked. You'll die. Poor Tyranids. We can hop on over to Battlefield Birmingham. Ooh, there's non-spectacle Drukari at X and 1 over here, chance. I think we talked about most of the lists. Oh, okay. And so Andy Quas Cohen played a Starshatter Arsenal. It's mostly normal Starshatter Arsenal stuff. This was 5-0. He went undefeated with this list. It's mostly normal Starshatter Arsenal stuff, but he did play some Praetorians, which is cool. So he had Dread Majesty, Catacomb Command Barge, Hexmark Destroyer, Necrosaur Amintar, Psychomancer with Croto Impedance. The thing is that these guys just sit so that their 18-inch aura extends over like 2 objectives, and then they just force Battle Shocks on you every turn so that the you don't hold the objectives ever. And usually Starshatter Arsenal like aircraft carriers around the terrain like just outside your deployment zone. So usually in the position where the Psychomancer is standing is also where the Silent King's going to be. So you're always in range to Chrono Impedance him, which is why you put it on that guy. We fall back and shoot on a Scorpic Lord. 2 more Scorpic Lords just for Mortal Wound generation, I guess. Plus TSK. Triple Doomsday Arc, Double Flayed One, Locust Destroyer, Triarch Praetorians. Pretty cool. Got a little advertisement in the bottom there. Nice. Triarch Praetorians for a nice little rapid ingress deep strike threat. You just hop in, boop. +1 to hit on objectives is actually sick for these guys because they shoot with the Rod of the Covenant. They shoot 5 times and then they also charge you, right? And they have 3 melee attacks, I believe. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna double check, fact check myself here. I think they attack 4 times a piece. So if you're just trying to go kill like the Intercessor squad they have on their back objective, these guys are actually like perfectly suited for it. They shoot 1 strength 5 AP2 2 damage. They go down to hitting on 2s once you're shooting something on an objective. And then they have 3 more strength 5 AP2 2 damage melee attacks. So they swing between swinging and shooting. They attack 20 times at 5/2/2. Hitting on 2s, which is actually sick. So like they'll just kill 5 Space Marines most of the time. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool, chat. Scorpic Lords are nice to charge into a tied up Catan to mortal the Tagger to death? What is a Tagger? Oh, if your Catan shard is tagged, is what you mean. And then mortal the guy to death, and the Catan shard goes. That would be true if there was a Catan shard here. I'm gonna assume that the opposite is happening, and the Scorpic Lords are charging the Catan shards to mortal them to death. It's probably what's going on. They're like, damage reduce this, idiot. And they hit them for 5 mortals. I don't know. It's probably what happens after you shoot them with Silent King and a bunch of Doomsday Arcs and kill them. I love this unit, by the way. They're a little expensive, I think, maybe, but the fact that they're built-in deep strike, they're not unfast, and so you can just like hop them in and you can just ingress them somewhere weird. They're like the greatest rapid ingress threat of all time because they're fast enough to like be able to shoot and charge the turn that after they come in almost anywhere, and they will almost certainly kill another utility squad. Which is cool. I think they're neat. Yeah, what's interesting is that it's Star Shatter Arsenal with no Catan shards, no Wraith Brick either. Like normally, you just play the Wraith Brick and you're like, okay, it's normal stuff. But we're basically like taking it on the chin with the Silent King, I guess. And like that's where a lot of our resilience comes from. It's just a huge brick of wounds with -1 to damage and stuff. Other cool thing is that there is a Reaper's Wager here as well. Adam Gourlay, X and 1. This is 4 and 1. I think he was top X1. Yeah, 4th place. What a Chad. With not a Spectacle of Spite, which is so weird, by the way. November of 2025, we were like, every Drukhari list is fucking Reaper's Wager. And then Steve Trimble changed the world at World Championships. And now we're like, wow, a Reaper's Wager Drukhari list. Incredible. It's amazing to see such innovation inside the faction. It's just so funny to me. It's so funny that from one event, the entire faction's flipped on its head. The entire metagame of this whole army. Surrounding Drazar, Malice, Lelith Hesperax, Cavalite Warriors, double Witches, triple Venoms, no Raiders, double Hellions, 2x10, reroll 1s here, and then access to Advance and Charge, or it's a Sustained Lethal is the other thing you can get on Reaper's Wager, right? It is indeed lethal or sustain. Do the Hellions, they have sustain built in, right? Yeah. So we can, so we're lethal sustain on these guys when it matters, and we can advance and charge, so they're just fucking insane-o fast. Just crazy, crazy fast, and hit like a truck. +1 attack, +1 strength, lance, sustain lethal. Yikes. Yikes bikes, plus a reroll on the 3+ weapon skill there. That unit fucking slaps, dude. 5 incubi, 5 mandrakes, 6 reavers, nice. 2x5 scourges, all with dark lances, plus double talos, 2 units of 2. The nice thing is the advanced shoot and charge with Talus as well. Because those guys are normally very slow. I actually love this list. This list is kind of sick. This feels like Hellions go so hard. I guess it's probably very similar to how they do in Spectacle, though. Because they lose out on combat drugs in this detachment. So there is still some lost efficiency there. But getting like the reroll ones built in is like kind of sick. That's a cool list. You love to see it, chat. I don't know if there's anything else particularly interesting. Can we find non-Grand Coven? Oh, what is this? Alex Mihan or Mahan, one or the other, with the Rubrique Phalanx, 1 Terminator Sorcerer with Stave Abominus. What the fuck does that do? All right. Okay. I'm in. What is this? The bearers that melee weapons have sustained D3 and devastating. What? 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 That's okay. Melee attacks only. Sustained D3 devastating. Cool. All right. This is triple Rubric Marines, 30 rubrics, chat. With let's see, 1 flamer, 1 bolt gun. So the bolt gun unit, we watched this on stream last week. This is one of my favorite units of all time now. I'll say, I think that watching this unit play or playing against this unit totally transformed how I played against this whole detachment. Because you can make the bolt guns psychic for 2 CP. It's a bunch of CP, but it's basically the OG combo that used to be in the index detachment, right? Where it was the same stratagem, actually. It was called Ensorcelled Diffusion back then, but now it's Infernal Fusillade. Either way, it makes you strength 5 and psychic. That means that when you pop out of a Rhino, the Rhino's psychic fire support works on your bolt guns. So this unit is firing, it works on anything but the Soul Reaper cannon. So you're firing 16 bolt gun shots, plus the Malefic Curse, plus the Sorcerer shooting. Which is one of these. I don't know which one. I guess the Exalted Sorcerers are just the blast, like, devastating guys. So that's interesting. Usually it's a regular Sorcerer, but all of those get +1 to wound. And then you can also benefit from wound rerolls. Potentially +1 to hit as well, if you have the +1 to hit enhancement too. So they can hit on 2s, reroll with stuff, wound on probably 4s with full rerolls if you're on an objective. And here's the kicker. It's not a Scarab Occult Terminator unit. It only costs like 250 points. So you can trade it with stuff and it's not going to like break the bank, right? It literally is half as expensive as a Scarab Occult Terminator unit. And you can do it turn 1. You could just run this Rhino out 12 inches, dump these guys out, double move them in the shooting phase, and then blast something and kill it. It's it's not turn 1 because you can't Infernal Fusillade turn 1, but bottom of 1, your opponent has to respect that threat, whereas they don't with Scarab Occult Terminators, because the Scarab Occult Terminators are either in reserve or are too slow to get you, whereas these guys don't care about range. They'll just shoot you at 24. And I was like, this is sick. I love this unit. This is super duper cool. This man went all in, and he took 2 units of 4 Flamer guys as well. It's like, fuck it, we ball. It's all Rubric Marines everywhere. We have double Forge Friends. Jesus, okay. Scarab Occult Terminators for the big dude to go into. Double Sekitar Robots, Zangor Enlightened. Here's the other thing, too, that happens. You forget a lot of times, and this I was pulling my goddamn hair out when we were watching this on stream, because we watched Risen Rubrique Phalanx on Saturday, I think, and I was pulling my hair out because basically neither player was playing around the fact that you could Revenge of the Rubrique off of not Scarab Occult Sorcerers. The normal play pattern is that you push your Scarab Occult Terminators forward, and they fight with someone, and then they get shot, and then you pull the Scarab Occult Sorcerer, and then you revenge and you shoot them back. Right? That's normally what happens. However, check this out. This just says Psyker model. And then you target a Rubric unit within 6 inches of the Psyker model. If your army is composed of 1 million Rubric Marine squads, all of whom have characters and aspiring sorcerers, those are all Psykers. You could trigger Revenge of the Rubric on any of them, which means it's really easy in a lot of cases to set up a situation where you dump this unit out, you trade for something, you kill it, your opponent goes in to kill that, and then you just rapid ingress this guy's unit next to them. They shoot this unit to death, and you revenge and shoot them back and kill them. So I think the Rubric builds of this attachment, I think people are going to find, are so much more consistent and have so much more counterplay than just the I'm gonna play Terminators and I'm gonna hope that I hit my lethal hits. Because these little guys have so much going on for them. Plus, they're basically 2+ save against a lot of infantry sweeping. You want to talk about a unit that doesn't care about that Dominion Flamer squad? It's these guys. They save on 2s. I don't give a shit. They're like, I'll lose 1 Rubric maybe. It might be my sorcerer, and then I'll revenge and kill you. Just pick you up for free. Get out of here. I don't know. I think this is rules. This is cool. This is the coolest, chat. I love these weird, non-standard Rubric A Phalanx lists, because I think Rubric A Phalanx has it's so easy to fall into just the most boring triple Scarab Occult Terminator list ever. And that list is so easy to mess up with. It's crazy. All right, 350 chat. I have a game over on Twitch in 10 minutes. We're going to do one more list, and then we're done. And you know what that list is? I'll drop a link to my Twitch in the chat for folks who want to come follow me over there. We're going to play against Pantheon of Woe. Pantheon of Woe. Here's this list. Ready? Look at that. It's 5 models. Glorious. X and 1, Questora's Companions, Crusader, Lancer, Atropos, Canis Rex. Peak. Absolute peak over here, chat. You love to see it. Seems like Knights are coming back a little bit, I think. Doesn't that require 5 command points? Doesn't what require 5 command points? I have no idea. Because we saw, both this and Questoris, Infernal Lance, both doing pretty well. I do wonder to some extent if the non-DDA equipped Necron lists, even the Doomsday Arc lists, I think are kind of in a position to get killed by a lot of these profiles. Like Knight Crusader is kind of good against Doomsday Arcs because they're relatively low toughness, which is what you really want to be shooting at. With Avenger Gatling cannons and battle cannons. So I think that there's definitely a universe where these builds are kind of meta conformant right now. Bottom of the meta this week, Eldar and Green Knights. Yeah, not too surprising. There has been a little bit of weird retooling with Eldar, people moving to Seer Council and stuff, but it's definitely not in the best place ever. And that I think chat will be all she wrote for today. Good discussion. And that's some interesting lists in there. I like these weird off the wall lists that aren't just like the normal thing that we talk about every single week. But I'm going to go play a game on Twitch. So please come hang out with me on Twitch. I just put the link in the chat over on the purple channel, and I'll see you there. I'm going to play some Salamanders. We're going to see if we can kill Catan Shards. I have in the past, but not Pantheon Catan Shards. So that might be a little tough because they're faster and have stuff going on. So thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you all tomorrow for Tactical Tuesday. We'll talk about something. I've been really out of it because of the streaming this weekend. I got back at 11 p.m. In order to make best armies in 40k, and so I went to bed at 4 and woke up groggy to do uploads and stuff this morning. So it has been a time, but we're gonna go and get things going on Twitchies. So we'll see you over there. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Keep it classy, folks, and talk about Solar Spearhead. Well, we talk about Solar Spearhead. How cool it is. I talked about Solar Spearhead this morning. You can watch that. There you go. Have happy board gaming, everybody. Cheers.